Please listen and listen attentively. I'm going to say a lot of things in addition to the question.
My name is Mark. I'm a salary earner with a real estate company. I want you to throw more light on the concept of markup. Is markup actually a sin?
We'd like you to throw more light on about investment. How do we manage our risk?
My question is, how do you balance the fact that you need to get a house and not be a tenant versus the fact that if you have a house and it's not earning money for you, it's not an asset? I don't know if you get it. Yeah, that if you have a house and it's not bringing in money for you, it's not an asset. So, for example, your first house should be an investment, not for you to enter the house because it won't be bringing anything for you.
And I am a physiotherapist. I'm a health professional. My question is, with your experience mentoring people, I know you must have come across health professionals. So how do you penetrate the fast lane as a health professional? I found it's usually very difficult to find very wealthy health professionals, doctors, physiotherapists, and the rest. So what is your best advice to people who are young, starting out in this career, and they want to make it big?
The question is it wise for someone who has a housing property, just one housing property, to put off the house for sale and then buy lands because he saw them cheap?
When you said prayer warriors and intercessors, I wouldn't want to, say what you've said. What do you really mean by that when you say prayer warriors and intercessors?
How do you start your morning? What are the ABCDs that you do whenever you wake up? Thank you.
What is the place of knowledge in the management of wealth? Because there was an incident that happened that actually prompted me asking this question, because I've come to a point where I believe that getting the wealth alone is not enough. What do I do? At what point is knowledge important, even before making the wealth, so as to be able to manage it? Thank you, sir.
And my question is from the 5 levels to financial freedom. From all you've said, it seems every principles and everything, it starts from the financial instability going up to financial freedom. If you're in financial crisis, where do you start from?
I'm asking, how will you know if you're being immature with your ideas, and what will you do so that your immaturity does not contradict what you want to do?
Question is, what advice can you give to a young teenager such as myself? I'm 17 right now, and I don't make any income, nothing. I don't really do anything. And as I get older, the drives become more independent, increases. So what advice can you give me as a person to start making plans and to start making wealth for myself?
And among the points you gave to us on global facts for wealth creation, the 5th point you said, you must become wealthy to attract wealth. And under that subhead, you said 3 things. You must be ready to lose in a realm you are believing God for, and you must be ready to give in that realm also. Now my question is, if I am a giver in a certain realm I'm believing God to come into, must I necessarily lose to be able to come into that realm? Thank you.
My question goes like this. Most young people, we have excellent business ideas, but how to get the resources to activate them, to make the establishment work, is the challenge. Is there any platform we can go to for empowerment?
Okay, thank you very much. Amazing questions, and that's one of the, because I still spoke with her, I said, look, are we having question and answer? Because it will help us to deal with a lot of other things and cover a lot of other ground. So, because these 13 questions are like 13 messages on its own, but I can tell you for free. Let me run through it. Now, house versus investment. Please listen and listen attentively. I'm going to say a lot of things in addition to the question. Your first house does not have to be your last house. Because most people think, oh, I can't live in that place. I'm waiting until I have money to buy it my time. No, buy it, build it, rent it out. Buy, build it, rent it. You don't have to live in your house. Your first house does not have to be your last, and your first house does not have to be where you live. You can buy it and rent it out to other people. And then when you are living in your house, that's one of the miracles, we call it the Kiyosaki miracle. When Robert Kiyosaki came out helping us to understand what an asset was. No publishing house took the book because he was working against the conventional mindset until he decided to invest in himself, and God helped him to be able to deliver many of us. What is an asset? An asset is twofold. Number one, anything that appreciates in value is an asset. Number two, anything that produces cash flow is an asset. But anything that depreciates in value is a liability. And anything that takes money away from you is a liability. So when you build a house and you are living inside, even though the house is appreciating, you are spending money. So one way or the other, it can be a mix, sweet and sour. Listen, when you are a landlord, you might have to spend at least 200,000-300,000 a month, even though you are the owner of the house. 200 times 12 is 2.4. If you go and rent a house, maybe you pay 1.5. So sometimes you are not qualified to move into the house yet. That's why I say build your business first before you now come to build your house. So my advice will be, if you know that you are not free, you are not gone to that financial freedom level yet, let that house first start as an investment before you now build it. So when you are building a house that you are packing into, it should be like the grandchild of money that you are using for that, the income from the income of the income, that it doesn't really move anything. Number two, prayer warrior and intercession. Now, what I mean is this: most of the time, because of religion, we get into the error of imbalance, where we now think that the supernatural is all we need. The supernatural is a combination of super plus natural. The super will remain super without the natural. The natural will remain natural without the super. So if you pray and pray and pray, the result of prayer is an instruction for manifestation. So what prayer does is, number one, it changes you. Number two, it instructs you. Number three, it energizes you to carry out the instruction. If your prayer is not doing any of those things, you are just wasting your time away. So when you see somebody that say they are prayer warrior and they are angry, they are bitter, they are nasty, they are unholy, you are not praying. Because prayer must change you first. Number two, when you say you are a prayer warrior, what did you now hear? Because prayer is communication with God, not talking to God. So when you talk to him, you should hear him talk back to you. And when he talks back to you, he gives you instruction. It's when you follow those instructions that the answer will come. So when I say most prayer warriors and intercessors are poor, it's because for many of them, they believe that just because we have prayed, miracle will just happen. And when they are supposed to give, they don't give. When they are supposed to invest, they don't invest. They are expecting a supernatural move, and they wait and waste. That's what I mean. Number three, you say, how do I start my money? That has changed over time. In the School of Money book, I spoke about my regimen, but as you grow, things change. And then as you begin to operate, because right now I operate more like a global, I have offices, and I'm a pastor, so we have branches all over the world. We have in Australia, so we have everywhere. So the different time zones affects what I do. My offices are also in like 4 continents now. So because of the time zones, the regimen I used to keep, I'm not able to keep that kind of regimen anymore. So I will give you my normal regimen, and I will give you the second. My normal regimen is when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I have a series of worship on my iPad. In my room, I have different things. There are speakers, so there's what we call Sonos. It's like it's in every room, so you can decide where to play. So that's the first thing that I do in the morning, just open up to that worship. Depending on what that morning is, sometimes I still do school run. So if it's a morning when I have to do school run, then while the worship is going on, I'm going to do school run. And then when the boy is dropped, I come back, I can now say I'm doing quiet time or whatever. So, but my normal regimen, if I'm not going out, is I wake up in worship, and I just spend time in that, because I'm not going anywhere, I work for myself. So when I get to a realm where I believe I've gotten to a realm, that's when I start praying. And then I now study my Bible. I study my Bible with real Bible. I don't use iPad, I don't use tablet. I have correct physical Bible, as in paper and biro. And I use what is called Open Heavens. It's by Pastor Iya Adeboye. One of my staff here gave it to me in 2002 or thereabouts. And that's what I've been. So that's what my family use for family devotion. So I carry it everywhere I go. So that's what I do. So when I'm done with that, I hardly go out now because of COVID. Change a lot. So my house is my office, is everything. So from the house, I go to church twice in a week. And I go to business office twice in a week. and then the remaining 3 days I'm at home. So sometimes I'm at home for 5 days. I only go to church. I do my business from the house. So I hardly go out except I'm going to preach. All my offices, everything is now run from the house. So that's my normal regimen every day. The exceptional regimen now is when I have to deal with a lot of international stuff. In the middle of the night when everybody's asleep, I'm awake doing international stuff. And then I wrap up with fasting and prayer, with prayer and worship. And then I go to sleep. So most morning, I'm either sleeping. So sometimes I'm sleeping till 11, 12, 1 because I've worked all night. So that's the exceptional one. Number 4. Now, managing wealth. When I introduced the book to you, I said it teaches you how to make, manage, and multiply money. Anybody can make money. It's the ability to manage the money that helps you to be able to multiply the money. If you know better, you will do better. So in the world of financial wealth management, there are principles that we apply. Those principles are in the book, School of Money. When you want to make money, the principles to make money is there. When you start making the money, how to manage the money is there. So we have the 70-30 principle, we have the 20/4 principle, we have all the different kind of principles that you can apply. We have all the reserve principle, satanic budgeting principle, all kinds of things that you can do. Because money not managed will go. That's why wealth has wings. So we tell you where to put the money. So once you begin to make money and you have gotten to a point where your needs are met, then you need to put most of your money into assets and investments. And then you also need to have what we call cash reserves, so that when opportunities come, you have enough resources to buy. So there are principles, and they are all in the book on wealth management. But the most important thing is savings, investments, asset acquisition, and then cash reserve. Savings, investments, asset acquisition, cash reserve. So when you make money, save. When you make money, invest so that more money will be coming. So that instead of you working for money, the money will be working for you. Asset acquisition, acquire assets so that the assets will be producing money without you having to work. Then have cash reserve. It's called satanic budgeting, so that when trouble comes, there are a lot of things that money will settle. Number 5, markup in real estate. Markup is not right. Markup is not wrong. It depends on the policy of the person you are dealing with. So what is markup? Markup means I'm a real estate company. I'm selling land for 5 million. You are an agent. You want to bring a customer, and you now add money to the 5 million. That means you have marked it up. Because you saw a rich person, you told the person the land is 7 million. You collected 7 million. You paid me 5 million. You have eaten 2 million. Now, it's not right or wrong. It depends on the policy. So for me now, in our company, we don't do markup. We give commission. So when you bring somebody that brings that 5 million, I will give you 10%, 15%, 20%, depending on the deal. So from that 5 million, you're already collecting 1 million from me. So why do you want to go and hard to it? But if I tell you, I'm selling my land for 5 million, any amount you sell, that's your business. Just give me my 5 million. Then markup is not wrong. So it depends on who you are dealing with. Because let me give you some other things. Where people don't understand is, if you do a markup, listen to this, and you tell me that I have added something, help me write receipts. I'm going to be writing receipt for 7 million, and I collected 5 million. When the tax man comes, I have 7 million. I'm going to have to pay tax on it. So at the end of the day, it will be a mess for everybody. Because that means that if you are telling me to write receipts of 7 million, you have to be ready to let go of 40% of that 2 million. So that 40% of the 2 million added to my own book will take care of the taxes and VAT and everything. If you are not ready to let go of the 40% of that 2 million on top, I can't write receipt for you. So that's it. So you need to know what you are getting involved in. When you are in financial crisis, where do you start? Everything in the kingdom starts with knowledge. Everything starts with, if you know better, you do better. You are either educated, uneducated, or miseducated. Educated, uneducated, or miseducated. So the major challenge is that a lot of people are miseducated. They don't know that they don't know, and they don't want to know. So the first place to start is education. So go online. Dr. Lumide Emmanuel on YouTube. There are a lot of other people that are speaking with experience and they have track record. Listen to them, follow them, and begin to practice it. When you know better, you will do better. So if you are in crisis, once you know, begin to practice from where you know. And most of the time, what changes your life is intangible. Knowledge, favor, goodwill, relationship, networks, opportunities. One of the things on the in the wealth stuff that I was giving you, one of those global facts is wealth creation is all about opportunities. It's all about opportunities. It's better to be prepared waiting for opportunity than for opportunity to come and meet you unprepared. When you see a lot of people and you wonder why they are making the money they are making, it's just opportunity. How did I get to Yanya to buy 70 acres? Do I know anybody there? No. What had happened? Someone that I know, a pastor friend, had an assistant pastor. The assistant pastor worked with Central Bank of Nigeria. When they were moving to Abuja, they posted them to Abuja. He came to Abuja. And the guy told me, that my assistant in Abuja, he has built church. Oh. The assistant pastor came in, there was no church, he built a church, and he's now telling the overseer they should come and do program. So the guy now said, my friend, follow me. Let's go and do program. It was program we came to do. And I started asking the guy a question. I said, how did you get this? They say, when they left Lagos, that they gave all of them money to relocate, and that his colleagues moved into Sheraton. And that people were living in Sheraton and Nikon for 1 year. I said, hey, he said, yes, so. He said, but because of the things I've been sharing in Lagos that he knows, he now went into Yaya, Maraba, Karu. He went to Karu. He now bought 1 acre of land and built one small bungalow, left his family in Lagos. He said, after 2 years, he has built 2 others. He brought his family from Lagos. I said, hey. He said, so that's why he said, let him build church for God. And all those. He said, many of those people that were in Sheraton and Nikon, they are now his tenants. So he built 2-bedroom bungalow. He has like 12 that he built. They were now the ones, when they finished all their money, they now came and say, wow. So when he told me that story, I said, now wow, so how much you buy the land? He said, 20,000 naira. Yeah. And the wife too has started school. I said, yeah. But because of what I know, every information is opportunity. I said, if I want to buy income, he said, the chief is now my friend. In fact, they know me in this area. That's how he connected me. That's how I bought the land. 70 acres, I paid for 2 years. Do you understand now? So, opportunities. Immaturity versus your idea. Now, please, there's something we need to learn. It's called mentorship and questioning. The Bible says in the mountain of counsel, there is safety. Please, I beg you, do everything you can to always ask questions. Even when you are sure, seek clarification. I have a TV station. I employ people. Do you understand? But yesterday, we were on our way from a TV station where I went for interview and all those stuff in the TV station / radio station yesterday. So on our way back, my PA, this is my ear, my PA now said, they were discussing, they said, sir, when you were online, you said some things that we saw the reaction online that, we need to do this. So I said, okay, so they said, there's somebody that we're already using for something. Then I said, we need to bring her into this, but we are thinking we need to give her a contract. So when they say contract, I say, okay, I know contract, I know what to write, but what did I do? Just for clarity, I called 2 of my daughters that are in the media. I said, hello, please, I need a sample of the contract they gave you as a presenter in that TV station. Because I want to do a contract for my TV station guys. I just need samples. I know what to do. I have lawyers. But what am I doing? I'm asking questions. So that by the time I do a multitude of counsel. So one of the things you need to do that will help you with immaturity and is make sure you ask questions and then have mentors. Sometimes you say you want to shock people and then poverty will shock you. So I just want to show them. You see people, they want to travel, they want to go to embassy, they won't come to you to seek counsel. When they now reject them visa, they are now coming. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted to shock you. Now they don't shock you now. Teenager, what's my advice for you? Financial intelligence. Start learning. Any book you can read now, read. Any message, go online, get all the information. If you know better, you do better. And once you have that understanding, one of the things you now need to choose is this. There are 3 portals of wealth creation: the career portal, the entrepreneurship portal, the investment portal. You now need to decide what you want to do. Do you want to be a career person? You want to be an investor? Or you want to be an entrepreneur? So that you will not follow that pathway. In one of the series I do, I teach on how to look well financially. So you can go to my YouTube channel and say how to look well financially. So you need to look back, look inward, look around, and look ahead. One of the major things you need to do as a teenager is look back. Is my father rich? Is my mother rich? If they are, how did they become rich? If they are not, why are they poor? Is my grandfather rich? You need to investigate your lineage. Because most of what you are calling a curse is because nobody is diagnosing to make a different choice. So you need to look back, look into number one, the spirituality of your family. Do they serve God there? Number two, the education of your family. Number three, the career profession of your family. Number four, the biology of your family. Because sometimes your grandfather has 17 children, your father had 8, now you have 3 girlfriends. That's how it starts, it's the same spirit. So you need to look into that. Then number 9, sell a house to buy land that is cheap. So there is a higher wisdom. Instead of selling the house to buy the cheap land, use the house to collect a loan to buy the cheap house. So your house will still be there. As a collateral for the loan, you will have the cheap house. Worst case scenario, they will collect the house when you lose. But it's better you will still have the house and have the land. So don't sell. Don't sell. And then another thing, never sell an asset without replacing it with an asset of equal trajectory. So anytime you sell a house or a land, make sure you replace it with a house or a land. So if you sell a house of 100 million, go and look for a house of 20 million and buy. So that another house will start the journey. If you sell a land of 10 million, go and look for another land of 2 million to buy. So that another land will start the journey. Never sell an asset without replacing it with another asset in the same trajectory of a lower value. Investment versus risk management. Investment has 2 sides, risk, return. There is no risk-free investments. So in investments, every investment has risk. So what you need to do is to understand risk management, which is, number 1, you can transfer the risk, you can avoid the risk, you can manage the risk, or you can face the risk. Those are 4 things you do with you. You can transfer your risk to somebody else. You can manage the risk. And you can do what? You can face the risk. So when you want to look at the best way to go about risk is what we call informed and calculated risk. That's what you do. So informed risk means before you take that risk, get all the information you can get. So that when you are taking the risk, you are doing it with information. Then calculated means don't put into it what you are not willing to lose. So if you are taking that risk, let it be that what I'm putting here, if I lose it, I'm not going to die. That's how you handle risk. Loss versus give dichotomy. Now, you see, there is the ideal and then there is the real. So please, whenever you are listening to a message, when the person has finished talking, sit down and understand what the person is saying. Because sometimes, depending on the person you are listening to, the way they will present a matter will be different. There are people in the church that call themselves faith people. And everything is faith, positive confession. Nothing, they don't mention anything negative. But some of us are faith people, but we are realists. So we tell you, look, this. So listen, there is no business plan that goes according to plan. None. They may not tell you. I used to be confused. I was part of a church early in my life as a young teenage boy. And our father would come and say, I have never had any problem in my life. I've never had any marital problem. And we know he has marital problem. We know. So we are confused. Say, I've never. We were there when they stole his car. His car was stolen, sir. We didn't see the car. Armed robber thieved the car. And the man said he never get problem before. We see him arguing with his wife in workers' class. Say, we keep quiet. I don't know if I get it. And you are telling us you don't have problem. So we are confused. Is he lying? Is it a new revelation? Did you understand? Ambassador, in our fellowship, armed robber came to our fellowship. Stole everybody's loads. Everybody, tie everybody down. And our pastor said, we don't have problem. I did not understand. Until one day, he was preaching. And he said, maybe problem came. And I did not know it was a problem. That was the day I got delivered. I said, wow, Olumide, you are operating on a lower level of understanding. This man knows what he's talking about. He doesn't see problem as a problem. Hello? So I can tell you now, I have never lost money before. I only pay school fees. So what I call loss now is school fees. So we don't lose money anymore. we pay school fees. So once the money is lost, we learn the lesson, we become a consultant, and we make money in the same area of loss. So if you are a giver, and you say, how can I lose money? Well, ideally, you shouldn't lose, but let me tell you something. That's not biblical. In this world, you will have tribulation. Those who live godly shall suffer persecution. It's part of the package. You must, through much tribulation, enter the kingdom. He said, if you fail in the day of adversity, that means adversity will come. So let's stop all this imbalanced message that will now make some people think that they are a sinner because of what they are going through. Okay, health professional. You need to get the book how to create wealth as a career person. Listen to me. There's a difference between the career profession and career business. So the reason why you have never seen, as you say, health professionals making stupendous money is because they are health professionals. They are not health investors. You went to school to study medicine. You spent 7 years in school. You did housemanship, you did everything. Now you are fighting and going on strike because of salary. Emeka did not go to medical school, but Emeka is in the medical business. He imports container load of syringe, gloves, cotton wool, medical supply. Emeka is a billionaire. You that went to school, you are poor. Why? You are a medical profession. Emeka is in the medical business. So if you want to become rich as a health practitioner, understand the business of your career. There are people that are in show business. They know the show, but they don't understand the business of the show. So they are celebrity beggar with golden handcuff. And whether your handcuff is made of wood or gold or silver, handcuff is handcuff. So once you understand the business of your career, you can be a lawyer and you are charged and be a lawyer. Somebody else can be a lawyer and they understand the business of law. And they are making money from the business of law. So get the book. I dealt extensively with that. Finally, raising capital. You say, are there platforms to raise capital? Well, if you get the book, there is a module there on how to raise capital for your business. But let me tell you something, no one will believe in you without you believing in yourself. So the best way to raise capital for your business is through your own personal savings and personal plan. When you save a minimum of 10%, as you are doing 10% tithe, 10% savings, 10% tithe, 10% savings. If you save a minimum of 10%, that's 100,000 you are praying for. In 10 months, if you save 10,000, your prayer will be answered in 10 months. You will see the 100,000 life and direct. And once you start with that, start with what you have from where you are. And then you grow from there to have what we call proof of concept. The next way to raise money is through family and friends. But for people to support you, anytime you ask people for money, they will ask you, how much do you have? When you tell them what you have, it releases favor for them to add to it. And that's how you grow. Thank you. God bless.